Libras. Welcome, Libra. Welcome. Welcome to your love and relationship reading. This reading will focus on how to get the third party gone out of your relationship, Libra. All right, so this reading has a specific audience, right? So you, Libra, are in a relationship or marriage with your person, and the door has been opened to a third party, and now you want them gone, whether they're just in there causing all kinds of drama or wreaking any other kind of havoc. You want this third party out of your connection. If that is the case, this reading is for you. Now, let me be even more specific. You want them gone so that you can heal your connection to your person and make it stronger than it was before. Like, that's who I'm talking to. Like, you know, that's who I'm talking to here. As always, this is a general reading. However, this particular reading is as close to a personal as you can get on this topic. And if for some reason you find that the reading isn't quite resonating with you, please keep in mind, we're going to take a deep dive here. And there may be things that you're totally unaware of. There may be things that haven't happened yet because tarot is predictive. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, just make sure that you subscribe so that in coming days, Libra, you don't miss any messages that are meant for you. All right. So with all that being said, let's jump in here. And let me just put one more disclaimer out there. And that disclaimer is we're all adults, or we should be all adults here. And we know when we feel in our heart, mind, and soul that someone is our person. And I would never advocate for someone putting themselves in a situation that's a no-win situation or is just not the best situation for them. So you yourself as a responsible adult know your situation. I don't encourage anyone staying with someone who's cheating and never going to change. So that's just my little personal disclaimer that I want to put out there, okay? All right, so first off, we're going to check in with a short spread to ask Spirit if there's anything in particular that we need to understand about getting the third party gone and reconnecting with our person in a stronger way. So, are we going to face any undue obstacles kind of thing? Like what does that look like? And then we'll do another spread to go deep into this situation and have Spirit provide us with the game plan that we need in order to get this third party gone. And then it'll be up to you, Libra, as to whether or not you want to take on that task, right? But we will, just as a warning, be going deep inside your person's mind and uncovering what's there. And it may be a lot that you don't know. And we're going to go deep into this third party because we need to understand what is really going on underneath the surface so that Spirit can lead us to where we want to go. All right, so we're going to be a bit of tarot spying. We're going to do a bit of tarot spying here today. Well, one of my favorite things to do with the tarot, actually. So, here we go. Spirit, let's get some messages on the board. Tell Libra, and of course the cards went flying, so this is quite the situation, Libra. Tell Libra, Spirit, what it is that they need to know about this overall situation and what it will take on their part in order to get this third party gone. Your first message comes by way of the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, followed by the Four of Swords, and then we have the King of Pentacles. All right, first off the bat with this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, what I'm seeing here is things have seemingly been at a standstill. And what I mean by that is it may feel, Libra, like you're with this whole situation, like you're in a slow moving fog. Like, you know how there, well, in a lot of places, there may be fog in the morning when you wake up, and then within an hour or so, the fog has lifted and you've got clear skies or whatever kind of skies you're going to have for that day. This feels more like a fog that doesn't want to lift. And that's what I'm feeling has been the energy in regards to how you're moving through the situation. Well, Spirit is letting us know with this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse that the speed, the momentum is going to pick up once you engage in what will be revealed here in order to get your person back, right? So basically, saddle up because things are going to start to pick up and move at a fast pace if you are to employ the advice given here. And you need to kind of like be ready. It's kind of like training for a 5K, right? And hydration and making sure you're hydrated and making sure you warm up. Like Spirit's like, get ready because it's basically about to turn into a race of sorts as far as how the pace of everything will progress once you get started. With the Four of Swords, again, what I was just saying, like hydrate, stretch, like Spirit is saying self care, because in this process, you're going to find yourself facing a lot emotionally in ways that you haven't been facing, right? So, in other words, it's emotional enough when there's a third party in your connection that causes all kinds of emotions, right? However, what Spirit's saying is the emotions that will come to the surface for you, Libra, while you actually undergo this process to get this person out of your connection, it's going to be a lot. And Spirit wants you to stay level headed, stay in control. And in order to do so, you're going to need to like take care of yourself especially well. Take breaks. If you meditate, meditate. If you don't meditate, meditate, right? Like start to put into place some practices that help you stay even keeled emotionally. At least stay even keeled when you're in front of that third party and your person. So you can break down behind closed doors and allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to lay down and have a good cry. But when your person's present and when the third party's present, Spirit's saying, hold it together. It's going to be an important point that you want to remember. All right. So, King of Pentacles. Wow. King of Pentacles. He, whether you are feminine or masculine, Libra, this King of Pentacles energy is that of stability, being the rock, right? And that's what Spirit is saying. Like, it's going to take your strongest poker face to get through this. So I just based on what I'm hearing here in this pre-spread, I have an idea of what's to come when we get deeper into these messages. But yeah, your poker face is going to be especially important. So practice it in the mirror if you feel like you don't have the best poker face. Practice it in the mirror. It's not about looking angry. It's not about looking blank. It's just about practice looking unbothered. because that look is a look that you're going to need over and over again as you move through this situation to get rid of the third party. The unbothered look. The unbothered look can bring in for you a lot of power in this situation, is what I'm hearing. So practice it. You know, it's not looking mad, it's not looking surprised, it's just looking unbothered, like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, I hope that goes fine for you. Practice it in the mirror. Like, really practice it. And I'm sure if you Google, I have never Googled this, but I'm sure if you were to ungoogle how to look unbothered, you would probably get a ton of information. Like, yeah, you would probably get a ton of information. Because with the King of Pentacles can actually sell his unbothered look. His unbothered look is so on point. People would buy it from him in order to use for themselves. And you need to get your unbothered look on point in that same way. All right, let's pick up my other deck here, get some shuffles in, and we're going to dig deep, like I said, into the situation and how your person's thinking. And don't be surprised, Libra, there's going to be stuff here that you're not going to be aware of that's going on beneath the surface with your person, okay? Stuff they're not letting on, not telling you. Even, I don't care really how well you know them, they're hiding certain things, of course. I mean, they have a third party. We know that they have the capability to hide things. So let's not be all the way surprised by that, right? But as I shuffle here, I just want to say, if you're feeling triggered by anything that comes up, please just try to breathe through that. I'm not saying or revealing anything here to hurt you. It's because there needs to be certain awarenesses if you're going to undergo this process and win this war, because you are at war when you're trying to get rid of a third party. All right, so Spirit, let's get some messages on the board for my lovely Libras on how to specifically get rid of this third party. And Libra, take a moment here while I shuffle to go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. I appreciate it. I plan to be going live more in coming days, and so if you want to hit that notification bell and select all notifications, you'll be the first to know. All right, so here we go. Our first message comes by way of the Seven of Wands in the reverse, followed by the Seven of Cups in the reverse. Interesting. Followed by the Six of Wands. Next up, we have the Star, followed by the Six of Coins, or the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Oh, wow. Then we have the Two of Swords in the reverse. Let me move these out of our way. Next up, we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Do we have like every seven out here on the board? Like, wow. Then we have the Four of Cups in the reverse, followed by the Five of Swords. Oh my God. Next up, we have the Nine of Cups. Always a welcome sight. And underneath the deck and the guiding energy that's behind the scenes is the Six of Swords. Wow. Okay, lots of swords, it would seem, if I'm. Well, actually, there's one, two. There's two swords plus the swords underneath. Um, but lots. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six reversals. And that is a lot. That's a lot of reversals. So there's a lot of broken, stuck energy here, um, as a result of all of those reversals showing up, right? But first off, we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse, followed by the Seven of Cups in the reverse. And so, what I'm seeing are your person's thoughts, what's going on in their mind. And the of Wands in the reverse talks about a fight, about a defensive energy. And so, Libra, it feels like your person, what they're saying here in the inner recesses of their mind, whether they've stated this to you or not, this is what's going on in their head. And it felt like prior to the third party here, it felt like to them, or at least that's what they're saying, that there were lots of struggles and fights in your connection with them, right? And now, of course, that is not to say that anything is your fault. It's just to say that this is how, in their mind, this person has characterized the energy of your relationship, right? There's lots of fighting, lots of arguments, lots of disagreements, a lot of situations where they had to defend themselves, defend their actions, defend their thoughts, defend their words, right? Now, again, Libra, you might be thinking, oh my God, yeah, because their thoughts, their words, their actions were indefensible. And so, yeah, you would have to defend that. But again, we're talking about how this person, from their point of view, was looking at this. And with the Seven of Cups, this doesn't sound nice to say, but this is what I'm seeing in the person's head. It's like they had all this confrontational type stuff happening. And the whole time they were thinking, the longer I stay in this connection with Libra, the more other opportunities out there dry up for me as far as connections and relationships. Because you can see, whether we're talking about your person being the feminine or the masculine, this card is full of people, other choices in partners or playmates, so to speak. And so that is from your person's point of view, that is what was happening. And that's how they were viewing things. Now, is that so nice? No, no. So take a breath here for a moment, Libra, and let's consider, you know, when asked, in like what spirit is showing us basically is what's in the inner recesses of your person's mind in regards to you and their connection with you. And this is what shows up, right? Is that worth sustaining? Now, yes, you can say, well, that can change in the future when the situation changes. Yeah, it could. It could. But what I am suggesting to you here is, in your person's heart and mind, it's not saying, oh, I do love Libra, but there's just been so many difficulties and I'm tired. That's not what's happening here. I just revealed the thoughts. So take a moment, take a breath, and consider, is this a journey that you still want to go on with getting that third party gone. Perhaps in therapy later, you can heal this connection and make it stronger. But that, judging by what we're seeing, there's no guarantee around that, right? So we just want to make sure that this is the path we want to be on. And Spirit kind of gave us, because this doesn't happen in every reading where Spirit says, now stop and take a look. Is this worth the fight, right? So take your moment, because we do have free will, and let's consider that. So in the Six of Wands, what I'm seeing here, again, going back to what we saw in your person's head in regards to how they view your relationship, they also saw you, Libra, as being the victor in those battles that we talked about, right? It's like they couldn't win to save their life, is what I'm hearing here, right? So you were always doing the victory dance in regards to, when the argument was over, when, it was always you that they viewed. Now, again, we're talking perspective, we're talking your person's point of view, right? And we know that you have a point of view, your person has a point of view, and then there's a neutral point of view. But from your person's point of view, you were always the victor, always doing the victory dance, right? And this did something inside of them that said, I can step out on this connection, and I can, in the process, hurt Libra. So I feel like many of you, your person did a very sloppy job of covering up the fact that they had a third party. And if that's the case, then understand that part of the action reaction that they had was they wanted to hurt you with this. They knew that knowledge of this third party would hurt you, and that's just part of the spoils for them. That's their own personal victory dance. Cruel, that's cruel punishment, right? So again, unfair, way out of bounds. So just consider that. Take another breath, Libra. Because, like I said, we're not doing this deep dive into the energies and thoughts and emotions around this just to be taking a deep dive. We're doing it because in order to affect a real and lasting change here, which is getting this third party gone and getting them gone for good, well, that requires having a deep knowledge of the inner workings of what's happening here. And so we come now to the star, and the message that I'm getting with the star is this third party person came in like, a breath of fresh air. I don't even think your person, Libra, from what I'm seeing and feeling here, I don't think they expected to meet this third party the way they did, right? Like, it's kind of like it was a chance encounter in a sense. And so it came out the blue, and then, they reacted in the moment. And I just heard Spirit tell me something. So, something that doesn't make this any better. If, Libra, you know who the third party is, and you're like, well, that person is, an ex from blah, 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 2 years ago, 4 years ago, or whatever, right? If that's what you're saying to yourself, then what Spirit is saying in response to that is there is another party out there that you don't know about. So while they may be with the ex from some time ago, there's also another third party, or what we would call a fourth party, in the connection. And that's who we're talking about here with the star, okay? So again, take a breath, deep breaths. Here we go. So this person came in. This person struck your person like a breath of fresh air. And there's something about this person with a star that really struck your person. Like they felt like, wow, at least at that moment of meeting them, they felt like, wow, how does this person, how are they even attracted to me? Like, how do I even have a chance with this person, right? Like, there was something in their mind that felt like this third party was elevated in some way. All right, so just take that in. It's not a dig against you. It's just, it's kind of like when you're on the subway or I don't know, anywhere, and a really handsome man smiles at you, or a really beautiful woman just gives you a smile just to say hello. You're kind of like, wow, what made that person notice me? Wow. It was kind of like that. So, anyway, so when the connection first started and they first started to talk, this third party also started talking to them about a lot of esoterical type stuff that you know your person may not normally be into, whether it's philosophy, whether it's kind of like science and kind of nerdy stuff. This person had these types of conversations on these topics with your person, and your person felt like they were trying to keep up with this third party. So that was the draw. They were trying to present themselves in a way that they were intelligent enough, they were handsome enough, they were pretty enough. Like they felt like they had to up their game in order to keep this person's interest long enough to move things forward. And that in essence is the the power, the upper hand, I should say, that this third party has on your person currently. Like that's in a nutshell what it is. Um, and I feel, and we'll get in, I'm of course glancing at the rest of the board, at the other messages out there, and there's much more to it that than this, right? But, and we're going to get into that, but really it was like this person kind of presented themselves like a ray of sunlight, or more specifically, a ray of starlight in the dark, right? A bright light is how they presented themselves. All right. So when we take a look here at the Six of Coins, or the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, this is really an energy of not giving, right? It's really an energy of not sharing. It's really an energy, in the upright it's more about give and take, more about give actually than it is take. But in the reverse, that goes away. That becomes, holding back. Um, Maybe even to the point of being a stone wall and being emotionally unavailable and not being free with your resources, not being generous with your resources, not being generous with your thoughts, your compliments, or your, just really pulling back. And what we were describing here with the star, of how all these conversations started, your person trying to keep up, your person trying to present themselves in the best possible light to be found acceptable by this person. It was like your person was in chase mode, right? Which really had a certain thrill for them, right? That drew them in to this third party. But now, intention wise, they they don't really plan. They may share certain thoughts. They may say certain things to make this person believe that they are all that intelligent, fun, cool, all those kind of things. But really, they're not sharing their innermost thoughts. They're not sharing what's at their core. They're not sharing their truths. They're not sharing anything that would make them vulnerable in front of this person. And they don't care to. And that is a strong statement because what that says, Libra, is all of this rigmarole with the third party is all shallow. It's all fake. It's all pre-contrived. It's not real. It's a show that was developed to pull somebody into your orbit, right? So, and for some of you, I just heard this third party is probably much younger than your person. And because they're much younger, they may not have a full grasp on this type of game of really holding back and keeping the other person wanting. Because that's the game that your person is playing with this third party. Some of you may be under the false impression that your person even loves this third party, and they do not. They don't intend to share anything of any real anything with them. It is a game. It's fun. It's entertaining. Um, it makes them feel good to feel wanted in a certain way. But no, this isn't love. Oh no, this is not love. This isn't even a real connection of exchange between these two parties. This is shallow, a show. This is a show. So be aware of that because even if your person has had the gall to speak to you about their so called, and I use my air quotes, their so called feelings about this third party, and they go on about how much they care about them, know that that's a show as well. They do not. They do not. I'm telling you right now, no emotion in this card. They don't. And particularly in the reverse, there's no emotion there. So it, you know, it's like twisting the knife for them to tell you, Libra, that they care so much about this third party. If that's what's happened, it's strictly them twisting the knife to cause and inflict more pain. Because remember in the beginning, remember we talked about how um, some of them felt so defeated in their connection with you as far as like the arguments, the battles, and the bickering, right? That they flipped this switch and said, well, I'm going to hurt Libra in this process, right? That's how I'm going to get my victory, right? So remember that because twisting that knife is just part of that whole so-called victory for them. It's dirty business, man. Like seriously, it is. So let's take a look at the message that comes through here with the Two of Swords in the reverse. And what I'm seeing with this is for some of you, you may be in a situation where you have your person blocked, right? You found out about this affair, this third party, you know, perhaps even if you were married or living together, you threw your person out. Things have been contentious as hell, right? I feel a lot of contention here. And so if that is the case there with you and you have your person blocked, like don't talk to me, get away from me, we're done. But you're here in this reading because now you're like, on the flip side of that, in your heart, you want to get this third party gone and you want to get back to healing your relationship. right? So Spirit is saying with this Two of Swords and the reverse is unblock the person. Take the first step. That doesn't mean open the door, invite them to move back in right away. That just means unblock them so that messages can get through, right? But remember, in the pre-spread, we had the Four of Swords talking about being able to take care of yourself emotionally, because this is going to now require that, right? Because you don't just unblock the person and everything goes nice messaging back and forth. It's going to be a lot of gunk. And then with this King of Pentacles, remember we talked about how important it is for you to maintain that poker face at all costs. So let's not forget that when we take the action to unblock, because, yeah, there's going to be a lot that you're going to have to sift through and go through in regards to, you know, opening up those channels of communication. And so this Six of Swords also lets me know that many of you have this person blocked. Many of you have this person kicked out. Many of you have decided to go your own way, or at least that's where your path was taking you a short time ago. So, yeah. If anything, you're opening up the channel of communication so that you can start to put into play what you need to put into play in order to get your person back and to get rid of this third party. And for that, you're going to need communication. It's going to be a huge part of this. And it's going to call for you, Libra, to be the adult in this communication. So you're not trying to win the battle. You're not trying to do a victory dance in that way, right? You're trying to be open and allow what comes through to come through. Because when all the trash empties out of your person's soul for what they have to say, then you'll start to get to communication that is helpful. But again, you're going to have to need to take care of yourself, relax, unwind, let a lot of the trash roll off of you, and again, just hold your presence, hold your poker face, hold yourself together in that way. There's going to be crying, Libra, and you have to do that privately. You can do it with a friend, but make sure that friend is so trusted and they're not running back to your person telling what's happening. All right? It may be best to just do that privately, from what I'm hearing. So, or with a therapist. Like if you are in therapy, then that would be a good way to go. So, what are the messages here of the Seven of Pentacles and the reverse, right? This third party, one thing about them, they don't like to wait. They don't like to be kept waiting for anything. They don't like to sit around. Once they express a need for something, they want it right then. There's a lot of impatience in this third party. And like we were saying here with the Six of Pentacles and the reverse, your person really in their mind doesn't have intentions on giving this person anything of value. Not materially, not emotionally. No, they don't. And so they give them, probably right now at this time, they're giving them just enough to keep them, satisfied. But as time goes on here, this person wants and expects more. And your person isn't in the business here with this person of giving more. And this person, this third party, isn't in the business of waiting once they've made a request. Like, why haven't you granted me my request? Like, what is the problem? And that's going to cause some contention because that is an inherent weakness in the third party that can be exploited, right? And so I'm feeling like some of you have a channel straight to this third party, right? And this third party watches you, in a sense, to see what your state of affairs is. So if the third party sees you as, oh man, let's just say you're a feminine. Oh, look at her. She's a mess. Look at her. Look at her. Poor little thing. Right? And the third party knows by seeing that you're an emotional mess that this whole situation has gotten to you, that your person, Libra, is not really connecting with you, that, the third party knows in their mind that they're winning in their mind, right? But again, remember with the King of Pentacles, poker face, we have to have that going on. It's going to confuse this third party. And when it confuses them, when you pull this off, this unbothered, oh, yeah, just, he stopped by last night and we talked. And yeah, when you get to that and you can really sell it to this third party, oh my God. Oh my God, you're going to drive this person insane. And guess what happens then? Because that's when they get erratic and they go after your person. And what do they want? I want to see tokens of your appreciation. I want you to show me you care about me. I want to see that this relationship has a future. Demands that will all go unmet by your person, Libra. Like, seriously? That is as complicated and as simple as this will be to pull off getting rid of this person. Because when that happens, it's the beginning of the end. This person packs her bags and goes on. Packs his bags and heads out. Like, seriously. Now, is it as fast as tomorrow? No, not necessarily. But in some cases, it could be very quickly. Again, once you're able to sell this, not just one time, but consistently. This person has to be looking at you on social media, looking at you in person, and seeing the same story. Like, oh, yeah, no. Life's good. Next weekend, I'm taking a girls' trip or I'm going out of town with the guys. And yeah, we're going to have a good time. And like, they need to see unbothered consistently. And then it will unravel what they've got going with your person. So when we take a look here at the messages of the Four of Cups in the reverse, this is showing how this is representing the energy of someone who is willing to dump out everything just because they can't have what they want. So, in other words, these gourds, these 3 gourds, right, full of liquid, presumably, and we have a 4th gourd up here. And the 4th gourd is what they want. It's got everything. It's got pretty colors. It's like fabulous. And these other 3 gourds might belong to someone else, or it could belong to this figure, right? But someone tells this figure, Oh no, you can't have this fourth gourd. Stick with the three that's sitting in front of you there. They'll kick those over and let everything drain out of them. Even if those three gourds don't belong to them. Even if those three gourds belong to their siblings or their neighbors, and their neighbors are depending on the liquids that are in there, they'll kick those right over in a fit of anger because they cannot have that fourth gourd. This, in a nutshell, is how your person views what they expect of you, what they expect of you in this whole dealing with them and the third party. They expect that if you can't have what you want, you will have a fit, a hissy fit, right? It's kind of like when we think about kicking over all the cups in order because we were told no. It seems like a toddler thing, right? Toddlers do this a lot. If you're a parent, you know that. And so your person is looking at your behavior and what they can expect in any interaction when it comes to you, them, and the third party. They expect you to exhibit that type of behavior, which is actually pretty demeaning. I don't know how true it is, Libra. They may have evidence of it, but still, to just have that constant thought, that's a little demeaning, right? How dare they when they're over here having these thoughts in regards to you, right? But again, it's not really about who's the winner between you and your person. It's about how he or she is viewing you, because that shapes how you, or at least it informs you as to things you can do to turn that expectation on its head, which is what you really need to do here. So they expect this, and you give them this, the unblocking and the unbothered. Exact opposite of what they expect. It's going to turn their head back around to you in a way like nothing else will. And you think that's like incredibly simplistic. However, Libra, what Spirit's saying is you've tried it the hard way here. Did any of that work? It's the simple tactic that will work to set all of this into motion. But once it's in motion, things are going to start to move quickly, and you need to be able to maintain your cool. Because it'll get intense, but it's the simplest thing that will start to unravel it. So we also have here the Five of Swords, and this is speaking about all right, not for nothing, Libra, but when your person was talking about your victory dance and how they were always losing the fight with you, not for nothing, you know how to do battle. You know how to go to war. And sometimes, Libra, it's a little bit of overkill from you. That in regards to you up against this other woman, because there will be, or other man, but especially if this situation is where there's another woman involved, there's going to be a confrontation between Libra and the third party. And you need to go to war and show them exactly what it is that has your person feeling this way about your victory dance. I'm not promoting any type of violent physical behavior. Get me when I say that. But this is a war. And this is a war of words in particular, cutting words. Like the tongue is your sharpest sword. And Libra, you will have no problem cutting this person down with your tongue. And you need to when the time is right. Absolutely. Absolutely need to. So once you make your moves, we come around to the Nine of Cups. This is your reward. The wish card. What? Libra, is this doable? You have the freaking wish card. Yes, it's doable. You can get rid of this third party. You can get your person back. And I hope when you do, you take moves to actually heal the relationship with your person. I hope that you engage an outside neutral party, such as a coach or therapist. And I hope you heal these communication issues. And we all have arguments from time to time, but there are things that can be done during arguments that are considered out of bounds, things that can be said during arguments that can be considered out of bounds. Save the out of bounds for the third party and your clash with them. But work once you get back to your connection on healing it properly, right? And the two of you, from what I see here, need help with that. Make sure when the time is right, when your wish has been granted here, that you make that a priority so that we're not back watching this type of reading again in the future. All right? Libra, you got this. You got this. You can do this without a doubt. And now, Libra, you have the game plan. You may have to come back and listen to this again in the future just to remind yourself, just to infuse yourself with the knowledge that's been passed here by Spirit. But you've got this. You've got this, Libra. All my best to you. And please subscribe so that you're in the loop about future messages meant for you, Libra. All my best.